Next question comes from Tim Janik. And he says, death has been on my mind. Whenever thinking about it, I fear it. I feel it is because I've never experienced it. I feel it is because I am not finished doing what I am meant to do. Fear of missing my family and my friends, and maybe I'm not living life fully. I feel a lot of people fear death as the medical community has not yet found a cure for it. I feel like
they never will.
I feel like it is because the whole humanity doesn't understand our origins. How does one come to peace with their own mortality and create inner peace with death?
Well, I'll give you a very simple answer straight out of physics. Everything in the universe, based on physics and quantum physics, is made of only two things, energy and information. Stephen Hawking showed that even a black hole cannot destroy information, and that the information is contained in the event horizon. Nassim Haramein also showed the same thing. So you have to ask yourself, what does physics say about the ability to destroy energy? It says it's impossible. So ultimately, energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. So death is not the end. Death is a transformative process. And the soul lives on. You know, without a long expose of what goes on, to the best of my knowledge, I have I've been on the other side. I've skirted I've been into complete situations where I was so utterly gone, I found myself wondering seriously how I would ever get back, but somehow Spirit wanted me back here maybe to answer your question. But and I've also been unconscious for multiple days at a time from motocross racing accidents and things like that, where I've gotten a little chance to be aware that there's more to it than we think. But really, energy and information cannot be destroyed. So whatever we are transitions into another dimension. If you look at the electromagnetic spectrum, for example, it shows that the visible material universe is only about 4% of what is out there. The rest of it we don't even pick up. And I'll show you a simple way to prove that to yourself. If you just go on Google, for example, and search images from Hubble telescope or images of Andromeda galaxy from Hubble telescope or standard telescope, then search the same thing, images of Andromeda galaxy with microwave telescope, with radio wave telescope, etc. There's now telescopes in different frequencies. Or you can just search images of same area of space taken with different telescopes. And I've seen composite images that show you like 5 different types of telescope. And in the same region, a standard telescope, which is a giant reflective mirror, shows you the various stars, planets, and moons that are there. Then you look at it with a radio telescope, and all of a sudden there's all sorts of other planets and stars there. Then you look at a microwave or an X-ray telescope, and every one of them shows things that the other ones don't show. So there you see that depending on the frequency range or octave that you're looking into, you see all sorts of other things that aren't picked up by our sensory perception, which is linked to your physical body. Now, if you look into the astral realm, that's the realm just beyond this realm. Another way I explain this to people is if you blow a dog whistle in a room full of people, nobody will hear it because it's out of the frequency range of the human ear. But any dog in the area will hear it and usually respond immediately to it. So death is an octave beyond the physical dimension. And what happens is we transition into that dimension. And if you look at the research of Ian Stevenson, who's done research into people that claim to have remembered past lives, he's got over 2,500 documented cases where people described who they were, where they lived, what they did in their past lives, and then they researched it, and lo and behold, not only do they find pictures and evidence of these people, sometimes they even find people that knew that person in their past life. One particular case I remember, a boy was fixated on fighter planes and kept telling his mother he used to be a fighter pilot. I believe it was in World War II. He told his parents exactly the type of plane. When he saw models of it, he wanted that type of plane. He told them the tail number on his plane. He told them where he died, how he died, and they looked it up, and lo and behold, not only did everything match they found that he was the pilot of a plane, it did have that tail number. He described who his crew was. He described how he died. All of this was recorded. I believe he was in the Navy. And they show pictures of people, that these people saying they had these past lives, and in almost all cases, their physical appearance is very similar to the life they're living now. And then if you look at the research of Raymond Moody, MD, he spent his whole life, started off as a complete skeptic and did the research because he thought he could prove that reincarnation was false, but ended up realizing after years and years of research that he had to change his belief because the evidence was too strong. So what we are is source experiencing itself. And source cannot die. Source is consciousness in caps, and everything else is conscious of to the degree that it's a sentient being. So because what we truly are is one consciousness, and if you haven't read the book One Mind by Larry Dossey, it's very good. Larry Dossey, MD. We are one consciousness creating the illusion of separation in order for love to be experienced, because without the illusion of separation, how would you have the experience of love? Love requires an I-thou relationship. I love you. That means I am the subject and you're the object of my devotion. So when I say I love Penny or I love you to my wife, the I that's saying that cannot be objectified, but we clearly have that subjective sense of love in us, and the object of devotion creates the ability for us to project our consciousness and our love to that person. So source, or God in all caps, creates the illusion of separation so it can have an experience of itself, and mind is created whenever there's a relationship between 2 points of consciousness, and time is created whenever there's a relationship between 2 points of consciousness. And if it wasn't for time, then everything would be happening at once and it could not be comprehended. So space and time are expressions of each other, and the illusion of separation in space-time is what allows source to experience itself. This is why I love the first principle of Sufism, which says, there is no God but God. I worship everything and everyone, which is a really deep, profound, and honest expression of what's going on here. So in summary, what you are is energy and information experiencing life, and energy and information cannot be killed, only transformed, which quantum physics and classical physics both validate, as do the laws of thermodynamics. And also Stephen Hawking's research into black holes validates, and so does many other scientists such as John Wheeler and Nassim Haramein and a whole bunch of them. So that's my answer for you.